Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. Welcome back to the Marias Pass series. I am going to be going through scenario 22 out of 36 in this series, Return to Whitefish Part 1. So as it says, the time has come back to head to Whitefish. You formed up your return consist in the Yardworks Shelby, which was the one we did before, and will now head back across Marias Pass. Alright, Shelby Dispatch, 7293, thanks for your help in Yardworks Shelby. To get to your consist, you'll first need to reverse and stop at stop point SH East. So again, let's take a look. We've got just 8 steps. Pretty basic. Alright, stop at point SH East. So he's saying reverse, so I'm going to take his word for it. I see. Alright. So let's see. There's stop point SH East. Where are we? Goodness. Alright. So we're going to go back this way. Alright, that's all accurate. Yeah, looks like we're there. So let me get this going. Again, we can only go 15, so we've got to be careful. It's been a while since I have been in here, so hopefully I'll remember the feel. Right, good news is distance is going down. I always question, but yeah, so we're going here and heading in that direction. So see if we can, no, we can go 25 now, so we'll take advantage of that. Obviously that will help me move along, because as it is, this said it's a 45 minute plan, so alright, I'm worried this is going to be down to 15 here. So I just want to be careful, because it's possible that switch is lower. It may not be, but I don't know that it matters a whole lot at that point, and it would be a shame to immediately get a penalty. Alright, well, now I know. That's the stuff over time, like as you learn a line. Certainly spent a good amount of time on Marias Pass here. Alright, so Shelby stop point, coming up on it. So I'm guessing it's just before that signal. It's on the other side of the road here. Alright, so we'll get ourselves slowing down here. That should get us what we need. There we go. So we're going to wait a bit here, it looks like. I'm assuming we're going to go the other way. So I'm going to flip myself that way, because there's just a line that way. Go via the 2 consist SH East and stop at 2 consist SH West. Alright, these are pretty basic at this point. So let me go back to the map. Alright, consist SH East. then stop at consist SH West. Alright. Way, way over there. Alright, so yes, we are simply going back in the other direction, now that we're, in essence, on the main line. But the speed is going to be improved. We can go 45, so that will help us get there a little faster. But I did see once we get there, then we're coupling. So the one thing I didn't check, alright, yeah, these are automatic switches. It didn't say anything about manuals, but shame on me for not verifying my route was clear. Alright, so now we're going to go to consist SH West. Hoping this is where I should be. It's letting me get there, so I'm going to assume I'm okay. You know what happens when we assume? That's probably going to get me in trouble. Being a bit sloppy, I suppose. Because, yeah, I think this is the consist we put on, but and maybe we will have like an engine at the back, because this is a long one. I finally have a really long train if I get to take that. That would be neat. Alright, still got 0.8 miles, so got a ways to go. And I'm assuming it's just SH for Shelby. It may not be for some other reason, I don't know. So, going 40, half a mile. No, unless that's our consist over there, but in front of us, but that's on a different line too, so yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna get past this point and then back up and go get the train. I hope. Don't know. Find out soon enough, right? Alright, let me start slowing down because whoops, I don't need to be on emergency. But yeah, we're going a little farther than we'd like. I think I waited too much, so I kind of overshot it. Looks like a bunch of logs in that train over there. Alright, so let me go back. To Shelby West, although I think it's telling me where I need to go now. Yeah, so now I need to couple. Let's see, center player. And Shelby hub. Whoops, 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 whoops. Let's see. Shelby hub. Yeah, there we go. I knew it. Alright. So let me just make sure that I'm going the right place. Center player, Shelby hub. Okay, 912 is what it has me, or 2912. Oh, it's so hard. 2911. So 2912 has got to be that one. The second one here. Yeah, that's what we're on. Alright. Alright, so other than being a little bit sloppy, again, So yeah, we're going to go around that pillar over there. But we've got a little ways to get back there. And I think we are taking, in fact, that really, really large consist, which is a good thing. I feel like I'm finally pulling a real train, right? Again, I know these videos or these series are less sequential. They're not numbered as episodes because I think just based on lines that people are interested in and so forth, they may just want to watch certain things. So it's going to be hard to tell in the future exactly like what I did before, what I did after. Alright, let me start slowing down because at this point I don't have the benefit of overshooting, and clearly I've lost my touch blowing by that point, and luckily it wasn't a problem. Of course, I probably would have been more careful if I had been running up on something otherwise, so. Alright, slowly coming in here, because again, we want to couple at a slow rate of speed. Here we go. Okay, 7293, Cut Bank Dispatch will contact you, on where to drop the 10 hoppers at the end of your consist. When you get close, have a good trip. Go via Teton 1 Main East. Alright. So we turn around, and at this point, we've got a 1.25 miles. Let me hop back in here, now that we're not kind of doing yard stuff anymore. Although I do want to get a look at this thing at some point. So let me hop out. Yeah, that is a train. So I guess we're going to drop these. Maybe the locomotive too. Maybe that'll help us. We'll just decouple that and take that off. Not sure. Alright. So we may have a ways to go. I didn't really look if this was easy. I did, or medium or what. I just saw it was 45 minutes, so shame on me for not being complete in the information. But at this point, we're now heading back, so we did more scenarios, obviously out of 36. 21 scenarios in essence, maybe 20 were for getting here and coming out here, because if we say the yard work we did yesterday to get this consist ready is more for the return trip, which makes sense, because it kind of is, obviously. But if we say that, then we can't count 21, this being episode 22. We can really only count 20 and say we're on our second scenario for the return. Alright, and once we move, will it move us over? Alright, I was wondering, it's hard to tell inside the train exactly when, because unlike a car where the wheels are close to the front, in a train that's not always the case, so. But I'm gonna have to get the entire consist off of the hub before I can go 45, so it may take me this full 0.8 miles just to get where I need, but it's pretty impressive that I really just need to hit 13% power and I can accelerate this entire thing. Now I say, no, there we go. I was going to say I say that, and now that's not happening. So we should be climbing for a bit, if I remember, to kind of get us back up, but then there's a long, long way down, because I think we were doing a lot more climbing to Marias Pass from the other side than we were here, although we were pretty flat for a while here, so we'll see. And maybe once we get past Teton Main 1, then we're going to have a long way. We could suddenly have 15-20 miles that we need to go before we do anything. So we'll see if we can read these signs. I still have difficulty just seeing them. 25. So it looks like maybe it will increase us to 25 at some point, or decrease us to 25. Not sure. Because, yeah, the last thing is I'd want suddenly to get to 45, and then I suddenly have to slow down and don't know. Because he didn't give us any warnings. Now I'm waiting for the little jokey comment where we say something goofy to dispatch and they get upset with us. I'm sure that's coming. It's a 45-minute scenario. We've still got time. Alright, gotta be getting close to getting off the hub. So here we can see 55, 50. So there's Teton Main 1 East on the scrolling map down below. Still 15. Now, I see lots of red up on the signals, so I'm a little concerned here. Maybe it's just acting strangely, I don't know. Well, now we can go 45, but can we? I'm gonna assume we're open, but that can be, again, dangerous. I guess it is green, just something at the bottom. Oh, I see, it's like a double signal, so it's green and then red below, but top signal is green, which is the important one, so get myself moving along here. Throttle up and start heading out, and there we go. Almost 20 miles to Cut Bank Main 1 East, so we've got a little ways to go here. Alright, we're going to be able to go 50 there. We may just be able to keep accelerating, because we'll hit that. It's not as if we're speeding up super fast here. I think I remember coming through here and that curve being out there. So yeah, I just do need to be careful that I don't exceed 45, because again, the whole train has got to get past that point here where it says 55, 50. So I'm likely going to have to back off on the throttle a bit here. Although, maybe not. We are moving along. Nah, I will. Again, I gotta be careful too that I'm not... Alright, I am not accelerating downhill. I was like, that's the other thing I am not seeing. It's a slight grade, but yeah, we're climbing. It looks like I can see the train dots moving now, popping up a bit. Alright. So, made a mile. But this was relatively plain terrain here. It was pretty flat, not a lot to see. So I think Cut Bank is going to get us close to the mountains again, if I recall, and then we'll have some more interesting scenery in future episodes and future scenarios as I continue on here. So, I don't remember if we can actually get up to 55 at some point, or if we stay at 50. I don't know that 5 miles an hour is going to matter a substantial amount. But this is always where, this is kind of the part of the job I wonder about. I mean, sure, there's, things to look at. It's kind of the old car trip as a kid. Stare out the window, entertain yourself by viewing what's out there in nature. But when you're on these crossings of the Great Plains, and I've got some lines that I think are really just in the midsection of the country, so those will be really a lot more of this, I would think. But what do you do? I mean, obviously you have to pay attention, so I don't think you can just read a book and never look up or something, but you could obviously probably, with a train, you could read or do something. I don't know what they're allowed to do as engineers. Alright, so now we're at 100%, but we're going up a 1% grade. So we are just maintaining our speed. We're actually falling off a little, which again, this is where it starts to get me to wonder, would I be able to stop if I wasn't already moving here? Or not? Did I say stop? Would I be able... I think I said stop because I was looking at the signal. Would I be able to start up from a stop? Is what I meant, if not what I said. If I had come to a complete stop here. And obviously not interested enough to test that out, because I think starting up here would be pretty miserable either way. But, yeah, now we're speeding up. But the grade is also decreased. God, that mini-map's gotten really small. I wanted a long train, right? Well, that's what it looks like. And even on that smaller view... Oh, now I gotta be careful, because now we're at 0. So, I'm gonna blow through that 50 before I know it, although it looks like we're increasing, and we do get up to 55. Alright. So, just be careful as I go through here. Yeah, it looks like literally any tap on the throttle and it starts to immediately react. Alright, so now we're at point. Interesting. It says we're at 0.7, like we're going up again. And it is slowing down a lot, but it shouldn't allow me to speed up the way it is, but it is. Just like 2 mail trucks just facing off? I guess so. Interesting. I don't recall seeing them coming in here. Assuming they were there, because I assume they're just kind of part of the scenery. Alright, so maybe now we're like officially on the hill again, because now we're at 1% and we're slowing down. But now I can also go to 55 pretty soon, and I'm not going to be anywhere near that, I don't think, before I can do that, so I'll just stay on the throttle. But coming up on about 5 miles into the journey since we passed Teton Main 1 East. Would assume signals are going to stay green because we're not speeding or anything like that. so we wouldn't be catching anybody. But more than half the train passed the 55 marker. And we're not even back up to 45. Grade has gone down a little bit. So, a lot of fields. Now, I wonder if they put, I'm assuming the telephone poles always are pretty far away from the tracks, if they can be, just for safety in case something were to happen, that you don't suddenly take out dozens of telephone poles if a train derails. And they may be near a road over there that I can't quite see, I think. Well, no, maybe it's just a mode right away. Because I was going to say, if they're near some sort of a road so that crews can access them and work on them when they need to. Wow, we'll be able to go 60. I think we've got someone coming the other way. We do. So, here we go. Oh, he's got 4 engines, so he's long. Let's get ourselves a bit of a view here. Very nice. Just trying to take in some of the sights as we pass. It's always cool when we're passing another train. But there's his end, so we're getting there. He's a lot of hopper cars, it looks like. No, yeah. So, alright, we're over 50. Now we're coming up on 60, so we may just be able to stay on the throttle 100%, but this again is important. We get, I don't know that lectured is the wrong word. I mean, it's got to be a forceful warning, but in the US there's a lot about how long a train needs to stop and so forth. So just think about, I mean, last comment I made, we were at 15 miles. Now we're below 13. I think we were accelerating from a little over 40. So over like 2.5 miles or so, it's taken us to increase the speed about 10 miles an hour. So, and I'm guessing maybe the brakes are a little more effective, but just keep that in mind when you're playing chicken with the train, right? Alright, I think we can stay on this because we're gonna pass right about there. There we go. So, and we are now flattening out, so that will likely allow us to speed up faster, but it looks like another hill coming up. It's hard visually, and even on the mini-map, it's like I'm kind of semi-guessing, like, yeah, I think I see a little increase, but no, maybe we are flattening out. Just a very slight grade, and then going back to 0, or maybe even dropping down for a bit. Because right now we're at 0.5%. But we're getting to the point here where I think it starts to crest, and, well, now it's gotten to 0.7, so I don't know. It's obviously fooling me, but now we're down to 0. So yeah, I was thinking at the crossing that maybe it would change. I don't know why the road is any indicator of a grade change, but... Alright, just trying to see if there's anywhere I can be where I'm somewhat maintaining my speed. Doesn't look like it. So I'm just going to have to keep doing that. So, you know, it does seem like it takes a little bit for the engine to kind of wind down. I mean, you can hear it getting quieter and quieter. So it might be that, like, now I can... Right, so we were below 25, because now you can hear it revving up a bit. So, 25 is speeding us up. I'm thinking 13 is gonna slow us down because now we can hear the engine revving down a bit. Alright. Looks like we're gonna stay flat for a bit. I'd say we're getting a bit more hilly in front of us in what we're seeing. So in 10 miles we might be up near things. I was not sure if I was seeing another train there somewhere. Something off to the left besides the telephone poles, I think. I'm looking at that more than I'm looking at my speed. I better be careful. Yeah, it looks like there we go. Now I can see it's a train siding, I'm sure. So it's just a train or some cars, some rolling stock just waiting. Alright, now we are going downhill. Ever so slightly. So, not a lot, and it looks like it's just, yeah, this short little thing. I mean, there's water there, but there's not like any clear reason why I would have anything happening here. So, I can't speak to that. I don't know. Alright, 70, 60... I don't know what the top is. Maybe it's like different weights of engines. I should probably look up US signaling since I have a lot of tracks or US signage, I guess. Not really signaling as much. I understand for the most part the signals. Alright, now we're climbing again, so I'm going to go ahead and put myself on 100. You can see we're slowing down as the engine revs up. I imagine the slowing down will slow. But yeah, we're still decelerating. I think the engine is going up a bit here. We are decelerating slower, and now we're kind of cresting that part of the hill, so you can see the slope is dropping a bit from 1.0 to 0.8. But 0.8 is still pretty good, so now we're back to 1. I am at 100%. Nothing else I can do, so other than have started it a little earlier to have had the engine revved up more before I hit that. And those are the type of things, I'm sure, if you're an engineer on a line and you go back and forth, you do probably make yourself some notes that, hey, around mile marker such and such, I should throttle up, you know, a mile before the hill starts, for example. So yeah, I'm just gonna take a quick look at my notes here. Alright, so yeah, we're just doing a couple moves when we get there. We're on step 6 of 8 here. And that was probably the faster way to look at the steps rather than pulling up the briefing on the pop-up like I did, but it worked. Alright, so we gotta slow down to 55, but we're not even gonna be up to 55, so... See, so there it said 60, 55, but it's like, how do I know how far ahead that is? Or is that the point, like when I pass it, that I should be reacting to it and getting myself down to that? But we're going to have about 6 miles to go. I think we go a little bit of an S curve here. So that may be why it's got a little bit of a slowdown, but again, we're not in any danger. We're still decelerating even though we're at 100%, because this is a pretty good slope here. So yeah, the mountains have suddenly vanished, or the hills, and that may be because what we were seeing was these. But there we go, down to 55, but we're not even at 50 anymore. So yeah, we're definitely just kind of sweeping around here. And here, I think the rail's screeching a bit. But then in half a mile, we're back up to 60, so it was just kind of through this curve here. They didn't build it in a way that let us go much faster. But we're still at 1% grade now. We still have a little bit of a sweep over there. So yeah, here's the signage that will take us back. But once again, we've got to get the train fully through before we're in that speed zone. I hope we're not going to be like stopping on a 1% grade. That could make things really interesting. But the grade can change pretty fast. But right now, if I look at that slope of the line in that image, it doesn't look like it is till the end. But again, I've still almost got 5 miles, so I'm sure that view at best is 1.5 miles or so. Maybe 2, but still. This is a tough haul this way. So, still slowing down a little bit at a time. The slope continues as we've obviously moved along further. So yeah, this thing is not ending anytime soon. But yeah, it just, the way this is working, it would seem to indicate that if somehow I stopped having power here, I couldn't get up here. So, I mean, I suppose if you had that happen, you would have to back up enough that you could get some momentum. But think about how miserable that would be. I mean, aside from just backing everything up behind you, because the timetables, I'm sure, sometimes are very, very close to keep the line as utilized as it can be. If I needed 2 miles to, speed up 10 miles an hour, and again, that's at the high level here. I mean, at the bottom we saw we can get up to 0 to 15 in the yard pretty fast. But either way, I'm sure I'd need to back up at least 1 mile. And, at that point I'm going downhill, so I could probably do it in 5 minutes or something, but you'd have to get enough momentum going so that you could. Right, so we're 1 mile away now, yeah, so at best this screen is probably 1.5 miles to 2 miles is what we're seeing at the speed we're going right now. But yeah, you'd need to get yourself up to speed to then not lose enough speed before you could finally make it. I was going to say, I'm thinking it's flattening out. It looks that way on both the mini-map and just at the horizon. For some reason, I can see it rolling down a bit. Yeah, 0.9, 0.6, so there we go. We are flattening out. So that will let us accelerate for the last little bit, but at some point I probably got to start thinking about slowing down, because This is not going to stop on a dime, as we know, so. Now we're back up to 1 for a bit, but maybe up to the signal, and then looks like shortly after the signal it flattens out. Or maybe it'll be flat by the signal. Not quite, but certainly significantly flatter than it was. Alright, at this point we should be seeing Cut Bank East showing up shortly, so we'll know how much visibility we have in a moment. Now we are at 0. Because I also then don't know if I go a good ways past Cut Bank, because it's just go via, so my guess is we're not really having to slow down there. But now it looks like we're going to start going downhill. So I will have to be careful with that, because now this is a downhill slope. Little fence line coming up there. Alright, so I gotta be down to 30 in a mile, so I probably need to start seriously thinking about that. We'll try this pace, we'll see how it goes. It's obviously decelerating way faster than it was ever accelerating. Alright, so now I got 3/4 of a mile, I'm already down to 40, so I feel at least comfortable there that I can slow myself pretty well. So I'm thinking half a mile we'll start seeing things appear. Okay, I guess not, maybe because the train's so long. So now I'm accelerating from gravity, but again I just need to be at 30 over there, so I'm trying to not slow down too much, but obviously I don't want to be in the situation where I can't control what's happening, so alright, so yeah, it's a caution signal to slow down a bit. Okay, welcome back, guys. Hey, check switches and then go via Cut Bank and elevator 3101. Alright. So, let's see, center player, we're way up there. Okay, where is Cut Bank show task? Where is this? Okay, 3101. I think we're okay. Yeah. Alright, we are. Alright. So I was gonna say, I was kinda, I didn't want the train to drift off on me as I was looking at things, but now I've slowed down quite a bit. We've still got 1.5 miles to go. So we'll speed ourselves up here so we can go a lot quicker than we are. So you can see that RPM continuing to creep up. But yeah, now we're going twice as fast as we were a moment ago. Alright, I just gotta be careful that I don't go too fast. Because yeah, we are going downhill a bit here. So there is some of that. Alright, we're gonna go past all these silos and whoop. Gotta be careful there. It was already at 30.9. I'm sure that as soon as we hit 31, went over that a little bit, we would have been suddenly going too fast. We're still at 0.8%. There's some other silos, that other tall stack of 2 or 3. I'm looking at the dust on the horizon there. So a little bit of extra speed. I don't know, it looks like dust. It might not be dust. But the train drifted on me while I was doing that, admiring the silo. Oh, yeah, those might just be roofs of the houses now that I see it. Alright, so we're gonna go via cut bank. Whoop. Oh boy. Well, that's bad. Yeah, I'd be in real big trouble here. Alright, well, call this a messed up scenario, that's for sure. Wow. I'm gonna slow down before I get anywhere? This is crazy. Still kind of cruising through here faster than I should be. There we go. So, my bad on that one. Since I'm not getting straight out scored, I've not been redoing these scenarios. But, you know, obviously I try to do the best I can. So let's see, I'm supposed to stop. Stop loco here, CB. Oh goodness. This thing is drifting way faster than I think. So I'm thinking this may not be easy simply because of being on the downsloped yard. I don't know. Because yeah, now this is going to move us back. So yeah, that was really the only way through, with the other tracks were occupied. So let me pay attention to the speed again so I don't drift past. So yeah, I'm thinking we're going to pass the silo, we're going to merge onto that next piece of track. And then yeah, that little... So stop loco here is just, I think, something that the map author put on as a specific point we're targeting, because I'm sure you have to put triggers in for events to happen. So now we're back onto probably what would have been the main line section there. We're going to be covering the street, I think, because, I don't know, maybe we're not a quarter mile long, but I would think we were. So, let's go to the outside view here. Yeah, we'll see if we get clear or not. We still have a little ways, so we might, but we go back there a ways, so not sure. So I think those signals are before the road. So I have to get the train fully past the signals. So yeah, at this point we may not be stopping before we cross the road. But we are following the directions we are given. And sadly, I may overshoot this by quite a bit here. Well, I got 0.3, because yeah, I think I need to stop where this guy's at. He didn't tell me about my little friend, but I'm thinking that's supposed to be my goal here. This last little bit is certainly a bit of a challenge, but there we go. So now we've got our timer. So that worked out. But yeah, we are in no way across the road. Now, it did say something about dropping the hoppers, but that must happen in the next scenario. Alright. Scenario incomplete. You did not complete the scenario. What didn't I do? I don't understand. I think I did everything. So let's see. Stopped at 2 out of 3 destinations. Oh, I wonder if somehow missing that one platform. Remember when I kind of pulled through it and then turned around? I wonder if I got flagged there, so, because I think that's what it is. I removed or added 60 vehicles, but I stopped at 2 or 3. But yeah, speeding 5 times. So not the best thing, but I've got it done. Maybe one of these days I'll redo it again just to see if I can do better. But that's it for now. I'll see you next time.